Hi, I am Miss Jen. Welcome to Teach with Me. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 things you have to have in your classroom. These are items that I have used for many different things. Sometimes the schools will provide them for you, and sometimes they don't. But these are my 3 top math recommendations. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't have other things, and I don't recommend other things. Of course, you're going to need other items, but these are my top 3 for kindergarten. Number 1, you need dice. Now, these are so important. I use them for games. I use them to help the kids add. I use them to help the kids subtract. I use them for worksheets. There are lots of worksheets out there that will have you roll a dice so that you can know where to go on your paper. So these are super important. And then another thing is foam dice. Take it from me, you do not want to have those hard dice and have 28 kids rolling them on their desk at the same time. Not only do they make a lot more noise, but they fly further and they're harder to stop. So foam dice are the way to go. For these, I had them in a container in my classroom, and so whenever we needed dice, they were all in a container. This particular one, I bought a large set, and this has 6 in it, and I have about 20 of these, so they all came in a big bag, and they weren't that much money, but they're super useful. Okay, the next thing that is necessary for your class are these these markers, and I use them a lot I use these for many things. These are game markers. These are markers for, like, if you're playing a bingo game in the classroom. They're also used for counting and for 10 frames. So this goes along with these when I use them for math. Oh, excuse me, that light's bright. I would use them on my 10 frames, and they're different colors, and we'll get into this lesson another day. I'm just showing you the products today. But this is this is an item that I think is crucial. You need these, and you need these boards. These are whiteboards are 2-sided. And this, some sides you use this one's for drawing or for just writing. This one is my math board. I use this a lot for making math problems and to practice with my 10 frames. All right. I know I said 3 items. I meant 4. So the next thing that you really need are Unifix cubes. And I bought just a little box of them. Schools usually provide these, well, at least the schools I worked at did. But if not, this is one of those must-haves. These are used for measuring. They're used for counting. They're used for useful for syllables. I would have the kids show me how many syllables are in a word. So we do that in many different ways. We would clap it out and go, how many syllables in the word elephant? Elephant. But instead of clapping it, sometimes I would say, show me on your cubes. And then they would hold it up and do it kind of silently, and then that way I would know that they were understanding and not just copying their friends. So cubes, these are super important. These are also wonderful for patterns, and we'll be using those in lessons in the future. All right, item number 4, counters. And these come in all different, there's all different kinds of counters you can get. These are teddy bears, because these were always the kids' favorites, and my favorites too. I ordered these with this. This is something that the school, they may provide the counters, I don't know, but they definitely don't provide these, and I find these super helpful. They come in a set of 25, and so these can be a center activity, or these can be an activity that you assign and you do whole group to kind of show patterning. So these are really useful. You have some that, and how to label too. You can use these to teach the kids how to label, A, B, C patterns, that sort of thing. All right, so let's look at this. This is by color. So this one is blue, green, green, blue, green, green, and then the kids have to use the bears and decide how to finish this. But the cool thing about these bears is they come in different sizes. So not only do the kids have to figure out the correct pattern, they have to figure out the correct sizes. And that's really, really helpful, because at first they may not recognize that. And at first you may not be looking for that. You may just be looking for color, and that's perfectly fine. But when it gets more complex, when they're ready to move on from doing just color or doing just size or doing just shape, you know, when you get into shapes, then these are really useful because they come in all different sizes. All right, so I'm just going to show you a few of them. This is one of those that the kids can do independently once they understand patterning, and it's a really good center activity. All right, so there's all kinds in here. Let me show you how they do them with the same color, and then this one just becomes a size 1. And then they'll do harder ones too, where they use multiple. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm still trying to figure that out, but you see how this one is size and shape. You've got blue, little blue, big red, little yellow, blue, big red, and so forth. I will figure out this lighting. It is nighttime though, it's dark outside, so that makes it a little bit trickier, but this is when I had time to do this. Anyway, those are my 4 top manipulatives that you need for kindergarten. Now I will probably come back at another time with my other 4 or another 6 another day. I don't know. These are the ones that that came to mind when I was thinking of the things that I use the most in my classroom. I hope this was helpful. I hope you found it useful. If you did, give me a like and a subscribe. I appreciate your time.